Over the last few days, things haven't been going great for Drake. A man who is hands down the biggest rapper in the entire world is now being judged by everyone in it. It seems like the world has been flipped upside down for Drake, and what were once his screaming fans are now an angry mob wielding torches and pitchforks determined to bring him down. Kendrick might have forever destroyed Drake's public image with one song. While Drake denied Kendrick's allegations, the damage is already done, and people are starting to see the sixth god for what he really is, a sneaky little devil. With allegations rising against Drake, it's starting to appear that Kendrick wasn't lying when he called Drake a certified PDF file. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be looking at the story of two different women who have come out on social media making allegations about Drake. Let's get right into it. I am pretty sure Drake was not expecting 2024 to be the year the world turns on him. This beef has opened up a can of worms for Drake that has people searching and digging up his old skeletons in order to validate Kendrick's claims. It's important to note that Kendrick didn't really expose Drake for being into them young. This was already common knowledge on the internet, as rumors had circulated for years about Drake and young girls. Many people, including myself, have been saying this for at least 3 years now. What Kendrick managed to do was bring more attention to these allegations because he's a massive celebrity. When us YouTubers were saying it for the last 3 years, the fans ignored it and kept on blasting his music. But when Kendrick said it, is off with Drake's head. Now that everyone has turned on the boy for liking little girls, a few people have come out to make allegations against him that are making things a lot worse for Drake. In my last episode exposing Drake's allegations, we spoke about this old video of him bringing up a 17-year-old girl on stage at one of his 2010 shows. Drake is then seen grinding and holding the girl closely before asking her age, and this is when she told him she was only 17. Drake not only admits he can go to jail for what he was doing, but continues to flirt with her. He even goes on to kiss her on the lips, but I didn't show this part for obvious reasons.
Y'all gonna have me get carried away again. I get in trouble for shit like this. How old are you? Feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breast feel against my chest. I just want to thank you.
This clip alone is evidence Drake likes them young. In this video, Drake was already 24 years old, so there's zero excuses for him flirting with a 17-year-old girl. In my opinion, this is PDF file behavior. You can't convince me otherwise. If you listen to the video closely, Drake even says that he likes the way her chest feels against him. Come on now. This video was already looking bad enough for Drake, but things are only starting to get worse for the rapper. Not long after Kendrick called out Drake, this woman made this TikTok video with a very interesting story about him. According to this woman, she claims that back in 2011 through 2015, Drake would allegedly invite high school girls to come to his house.
Rich women between like 28 and 33 right now living in LA who have had interactions with Drake can bring him down. They can be the nail in the coffin. So listen, I went to high school between 2011 and 2015, okay? In that time, and I went to a very rich, white, private high school. And during that time, I heard of girls or girl sisters going to Drake's house. We're in high school, okay? And maybe they weren't freshmen, but still, you're still 16 to maybe 18-year-olds, but you're 16, 17 years old going to this grown-ass man's house. If you look at birth year and look up those years, he was between 27 and 29. He was 29 in 2015. So I know that there are a lot of people out there, maybe with some memories that it's hard to look back on and be like, holy I was a child and there was a power dynamic and this is me being taken advantage of. But you guys need to step up and cancel Drake and like just end it. Just end his shit.
As you heard for yourself, this woman makes these allegations and urges Drake's young victims to come out and expose him. She claims that many of her high school friends were hanging out with Drake at his house. You can imagine what they were up to. When I heard this, it reminded me of a man who used to fly high school girls on his private plane to his private island. I think his name was Jeffrey. This seems to be the way for rich, powerful people to recruit young girls for their freak-off parties. Whether this woman's allegations are true or not, we will have to wait and see. I couldn't find anything else about this woman or her claims, but she didn't seem like she was lying to me. Maybe some of those girls she was referring to will come out and talk about what happened with Drake. For all we know, she could be telling the truth, or she could also be lying. I will leave that up to you to decide for yourself. I myself believe her claims, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. A year back, this woman called Little CeCe did an interview with Adam22 and said some things about Drake that are now very interesting. Little CeCe is a music producer who made the beat for Drake's song Money in the Grave. During her interview on No Jumper, Little CeCe explains to the world how she met Drake, and what she had to say is rather concerning.
Okay, so the Drake thing. You met him, when did you first meet him?
So I played basketball, right? So he really was a fan of supported one of my teammates at the time. And
this is when you're in high school?
Yeah, in high school. So
And this is when you're in high school?
Yeah, in high school. So
he was a fan of women's basketball, high school basketball. I was her teammate, so he followed me because of her. Followed me, and I lost it. I'm like, I have to meet Drake. Like, I love Drake. I've always loved Drake, still love Drake. So basically, he followed me. Maybe a year later is when I built up the confidence to like message him on like some working stuff, because I was 18 when I messaged him. And I DM'd him like, hey, I make beats. Like, can I send you some beats? Like, no. I just wanted him to say my tag. I'm like, you don't have to. It just seemed so not realistic for him to get on one of my beats. I was like, can you just say my tag for me? I just thought like, him creating a whole song on one of my beats, like that was just so far out of like my thought range. I don't know, like, but of course it was a goal. I would want that to happen. So he was like, is this really you? Is your page hacked? Like, I sent him a video of me asking again. I'm like, yeah, it's me. Like, can I please send you something? Because he was like, oh, send me some. Yeah, I had to send a video confirming like my page is not hacked.
Right.
As you heard for yourself, Little CeCe claims that she met Drake through her high school female basketball team, as Drake was a quote-unquote fan of one of her high school age friends. I can't make this up. What grown man is interested in female high school basketball? There is no way around this one, Drake. You weren't interested in watching them play sports. You were interested in bringing these girls back home. There's no way you can convince me Drake is interested in a female high school basketball team for anything other than collecting young girls for his OVO freak-off parties. What's interesting is that Little CeCe's first beat was made for Drake. Her first beat on a major artist song was Drake's Money in the Grave. And after meeting Drake, she was actually able to have a career in the industry and became a model. Now let's be honest with each other here. We all know how this girl got this beat placement. Now if we listen to what the last woman said, she claimed that Drake was recruiting high school girls from her school. Little CeCe claims that Drake was a fan of a high school basketball player and was in her DMs. What more proof do we need? Drake does appear to be a certified PDF file. What's interesting is that Drake has been showing us signs of this since the beginning of his career. If we go back to Drake's breakout hit, Best I Ever Had, he confesses that he's into high school girls that are on the basketball team. The whole video for Best I Ever Had shows Drake as a high school basketball coach flirting with the girls on the team. It has been right in our faces since the beginning of his career. Now it seems that Drake didn't fall far from the tree, as it appears his father Dennis Graham was the one who showed Drake everything he knows. After the Drake and Kendrick beef kicked off, a woman posted this video on TikTok detailing an experience she had with Drake's father Dennis. This video uploaded by this woman shows a young woman being hugged on by Dennis Graham while she has a creeped out face on. According to this woman, this video was filmed right before she left Dennis' home as he was getting too creepy for her. The story is that she was hanging out at a club in LA when a man approached her and invited her to attend one of Drake's parties. Her and her friends agreed, and when they got to Drake's home, it was not Drake's, but it was Drake's father's home, Dennis.
Ready with me while Roy tell the story of the time that I thought I was going to an after party at Drake's, and it ended up being a party at his dad's house. So this was back in 2019. I would like to preface that I was an adult. I was 22 years old. My friends and I are not from LA. We went down and we were able to get like a table at one of like a larger club down in LA. Had fun. And then one of my friends ended up meeting some guy who was like, hey, we like your vibes. Again, we're like not from LA, so this is not like a normal situation from us. And we're like, oh my gosh, how cool. He's like, so there's an after party happening at Drake's house. Like, do you and your friends want to go? And we're like, obviously, like that, yeah. Again, this is like not our normal scenes. We're like, for sure. One thing to note was that it was literally being televised that he was at some like basketball game in Canada, but we were like, he has a private plane. He can fly here quickly. Like, that's what's happening. So while we were in line, there was some like random like crazy man that was trying to like talk to us and was being real weird. And there was this private security guard who was helping like some celebrity who was there. And his name was Big Money. And Big Money, I know you follow me still. I love you so much. And he was like, hey, back up. And like was so sweet to us and was like very kind and protecting. But then was like, hey, let me get your number and like text me wherever you're going so I know that you're like getting there safe. Because we were clearly like not a part of the scene. Like this was like not our normal scenario that we're in. So our Uber pulls up and we pretty immediately are like, oh, Drake is not going to be at this party. There were like 15 people there. It was not super busy at all. And we're greeted by, it felt like out of a movie. It was this weird, creepy ass butler who was like probably even older than Dennis. Weird vibes. And they just kept like randomly like stopping and then like dancing and then continuing on with conversation. So just Dennis was there, which again, still not from this like area. I'm like, still pretty cool. Like, all right, like for the plot, let's see where this goes. Also, I'd like to preface that like, I'm not a victim. I just thought it was a crazy story. It was a very weird and like uncomfortable situation, but like once it got to the point where I was like, this is too much, me and my friends left. So we were really only there for like maybe 20 minutes. While we're there, he's just being super like handsy and weird. He said some like really strange comments, which that's kind of what started leading us to be like, okay, this guy's odd. And like clearly Drake's not coming. So like we feel like we saw what we needed to see and we're ready to go. One weird thing is there were photos of Drake everywhere. Like his entire wall is just like memorabilia of Drake, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, basically just like a weird, creepy old dude with his weird, creepy old butler. So we, after 20 minutes, are like, let's go. This is weird. There's like also not enough of us here for us to feel like super comfy. So we tried to call an Uber, but he lives like way up in the Hollywood Hills and there was like a security guard at the beginning of the neighborhood. And they're like, oh, the security guard won't let us in. He's like, no joke, like a mile and a half up this road. And we're like, so we literally had to walk in the pitch black to get to our Uber because the security guard wouldn't be like letting our Uber in. No streetlights at all. So we're walking a group of, I think it was like 5 of us girls. And then all of a sudden we're walking and we see a car coming up from behind us and it slows down and it's the butler. I don't know if I can cuss on here. And he's like, hey girls, you want to get in the car? Like, let me give you a ride. We're like, no, thank you. And we like start running. This happens like 2 more times. He keeps like making his laps. And like, we're the only ones walking on the street. Pitch black. So scary. Then all of a sudden we see a figure walking behind us. And we're like, what? Like, what is that? So we start speeding up because we're like, that's so scary. Then the figure starts speeding up. We start running. The figure behind us starts running. So finally, one of my friends just stops and yells like, what's your problem? And we just hear this like sweet girl's voice and she's like, I'm so sorry, like I was there and I was like getting kind of scared and freaked out. My friends didn't want to leave, so like I left. So it was just this girl walking down the street by herself and she was trying to like keep up with another group of girls to like feel safe. And then we were like running away from her. So obviously she joined our group and we made sure that she got home safe. But yeah, that's really it. He was an odd dude and was saying weird things. I'm not going to get into it just because I'm like, I don't know what. I don't know. I'm like a little scared. But like nothing bad happened. I'm not a victim. It was just a crazy story. And it's like one of my favorite fun facts to be like, I peed in Dennis Graham's toilet. So, yeah. And then next time we went to LA, which was like only the second time we were out, saw Dennis again. So I think this is just kind of like his thing. And we were talking to someone about it and they're like, oh yeah, no, you never go to a party at Dennis's house. So I think it's just kind of like an LA thing that we were just not aware of. But, yeah.
As you heard for yourself, this woman claims Dennis was basically trying to recruit these girls less than half his age to be in some sort of freak-off. The women claim that Dennis made it difficult for the girls to leave, as his security wouldn't allow the Uber to pull up to the home. The girls were forced to walk out of the community in the dark, while Dennis's butler followed them around, trying to get them to get in the car. To me, all of this and what I said in the last video already suggests that Drake likes them young. All of his relationship with 18-year-olds that he was hanging out with when they were 14 and 15 says enough to me already. Like Kendrick said, Drake just might be a certified PDF file. Now the question is, what's going to be done because of this? Is Drake going to be allowed to continue to be the biggest rapper in the world, loved by all, or is his time coming to an end? I know he might deserve more severe punishments than his career being over, but let's be honest here, that's not going to happen. Hollywood is full of people like Drake and Diddy. Men who acquire power just to use it to take advantage of people. With all this information that I presented in this video, I believe I made it quite easy for you to be able to make a decision on Drake for yourself. Was Kendrick right about Drake? You tell me below. Well, that's it for this video, but before you guys go, I just wanted to ask you to consider becoming a Patreon member. Becoming a member helps me create better videos and funds other projects I have planned for the channel. The membership is only $3 a month, and you get instant access to over 26 exclusive Patreon videos. And I also post new videos every single month. These videos are usually uncut, uncensored, and deeper than on YouTube, as I don't have to worry about any guidelines. So if you want to become a member, you can find the link in the description of this video and also pinned in the comments. Also, make sure you like, comment, and share this video so that it'll be recommended to others. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.